Greetings to each and everyone. Thanks for checking as usual. You don't know they up on Daniel Talk Football YouTube channel. The Nick of that podcast return. So you don't know. Checking as usual. Happy Friday to each and everyone as you're making your way in. Yeah. Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. You don't know this is the duo, the Nick and Dan podcast return back again. You will say post after 9 months. It's episode 2. We're out here doing what we need to do. So we're going to get through some topics as well, talking about one of our own, prominent reggae boy player who's playing at that elite level at this moment, Leon Chippy Bailey, and we're going to touch and go something around, the Reggae Girlz as well, and a bit of transfer news, strangely about Roman Burl. We're going to get into that, and also at the back end of the podcast, we will talk about the Premier League preview, what's ahead of us, and talk about what's in the extra time, and that will conclude the Nick and Dan podcast. So people, don't forget to grab your cup of tea or whatever you at this moment. Is either you watching this podcast late afternoon, late evening, night, morning, make sure that you grab a little supper, something that you can enjoy and crunch while watching the Nick and Dan podcast. But Daniel, we're there again, episode 2, post return after 8-9 months. Long all way, from the YouTube space. So we're there again. What's going on? What says you?
You know, they don't know, the time difference is crazy. You get what I'm saying? Like within what 10 we have what 10:27 in California time, West Coast. Nick, I think Nick will have like one something. You get me?
Yeah.
People, you see the dedication of the show. You get what I'm saying? As Nick said, we've been out for 8 months now, but time to keep it and being very consistent and do the right thing. You get what I'm saying? As like what Ryan said, keep the belt buckle on them. You get me? We keep because belt
Eat the
buckle,
belt buckle.
belt buckle.
Hey,
But people,
yeah.
if you're checking in, don't forget smash a like on the video. It's free to show support. Subscribe, and if whatever we're discussing in the show, you leave a comment, and yeah, let's get it
Yeah,
rolling.
let's let the ball rolling, drop the lid upon the surface. Let's see what's in ahead of us. But Leon though, talking about Leon, we know we have played for 2 clubs, of this campaign so far, and it's been a very rocky road for the reggae boy player. Saw him, went out on loan last summer after return back in the winter, transfer back to his parent club. It just never worked out in Italy. We thought it was the best possible move. But when you arrive in Rome, the capital of Italy, and you're looking at it in hindsight, and first training session disrupt with injury, long layoff, it take him like a month and a half, nearly 2 months to get back up to the pace. That wasn't the best start. He was already behind the pack. And after that trouble season that he had, you will say, what, 24, 25 season, where he just miserably, playing with a lot of injuries, and it rolled over with a new club, new scenery, new club, new teammates, new country, new weather. It's a much warmer climate, in Rome
Yeah,
as well. You heard Jose Mourinho talk about it with Tammy Abraham. What you want to do? You want to play in the rain every day, or you want to come where it's sunshine all year round in Italy, especially in Rome? So the weather would have been a little bit more climatized to the reggae boy player, but for some reason, man, with under Gasparini, more experienced coach who have done it at the highest level, in Italy, it just never worked out.
yeah. As when Bailey made that first move to Roma, I put out a video on my Instagram and I said that this is gonna be a brilliant move. I think I was saying that the league is a little bit more slower. Bailey is getting up in age. He what 28. You get what I'm saying? I think Bailey pick up a little bit injuries. So by saying that, I'm thinking that going to Italy, the league a little slow, tactically, defensively, a little bit better than the Premier League, but he just never get able to get going. You get what I'm saying? He went there. I remember that news break when I heard that Bailey is injured. I couldn't believe it. I thought people was trolling, but the man just couldn't able to get going, and unfortunately, he's getting up into age. You get what I'm saying? And maybe his off the field lifestyle is catching up on him now. You get what I'm saying? And for it's just a turbo move, and sad to see. You get what I'm saying?
Tactically, um, y- with his physicality already, coming off what a month and a half, 2 month injury, his body wasn't there, and he was asked quite a few times, to play, through the middle, and he never adjust, to what the Italian coach really want from him, playing through the middle, playing in a back three. It's not suitable where Aston Villa play the 4-3-3 or the 4-4-2, where you will be one of the wide players. In Italy, typically the wide players are the wing backs, and it just never suit him, going forward. And Leon Bailey did not even help himself. I can remember, goes back to one of the game, I think that he played. Let me try to get it. A game that he played against Sassuolo. That was his first 90. That was his first start returning back from that long haul injury. And I think that was a positive sign. I was watching that game, playing. Roma was playing away to Sassuolo, and then right after, he played against Parma, and the drop off from Sassuolo to Parma. You like, come on, you have to follow up and bring that continuity, in your game. And looking at it, that starting 11, for AS Roma on that day where we play away to Sassuolo, Bailey was playing like, the Gasparini, set up, the 3-4-2-1 setup where like two number 10s playing behind the number nine. Number nine
Yeah,
was Dybala on the day. And you're looking at it, Dybala is not a real out and out number nine. He's going to drop in the space and drop in areas where Leon Bailey going to pick up the ball in those pockets. So you will never have the room and time, to really to threaten or to create havoc, in that Sassuolo defensive third. But tactically though, the 3-4-2-1 system or the 3-5-2 system, it just never suit him, not one
yeah,
bit.
yeah. Never suit him at all, and I think Bailey, over the years, I think one of my biggest criticism of Bailey, he never able to improve his game as far as tactically wise. You get what I'm saying? I think he able. Remember, I was watching videos of Bailey at his level cruising days, and I'm telling you, like he was like maybe one of the best right winger in the world at that moment coming up. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And he was going at players. He was very skillful. Like he was doing everything. Compare that to now, Bailey's still trying to do the same thing. And aging, got look a bit slower, get a lot of injuries, etc. etc. So I think over Bailey's career, he never able to adjust and able to change the way he play. Lionel Messi does not play the same way or he played 5, 15 years ago. You get what I'm saying? He able to adjust. Messi used to play on the right wing. No, Messi's playing behind the striker. You get what I'm saying? So as a player, Ronaldo started as a winger. He might play like a striker now. So as a player, you have to able to adapt to your age and able to. I just never think Bailey able to do that. And if he got find out in the Italian league.
Yeah, I think I'm looking at it, in his last two campaign, he scored one goal so far for Aston Villa, and the season before this one started, he scored 2 goals and 4 assists, and before that, it was the one of the greatest season of his career, where 14 goals, 13 assists, that's 20 plus goals contribution for Aston Villa in all competition, where they ran. I think they went all the way to the Europa League. I think it was the Europa League semi-final. Yeah, on the conference semi-final. I think
Conference League.
the conference. Yeah, it was a conference league semi-final. I think it was a Greek team. My shot, my thing. Remember, serving right, it was Olympiacos that knocked them
Yeah,
out into the semi-final. So that was a very good run. And looking at it, in hindsight, when a player get recalled back from loan and return back to that parent club, Bailey got called back to Aston Villa squad into the Premier League. You can't need a better opportunity than that to prove yourself that, listen, this will be the greatest audition of me as a player, to
yeah,
even to prove Unai Emery wrong. Like, listen, it was wrong, to loan me out. And look what Marlon is doing at this moment. Since he signed for AS Roma, he is the top leading goal scorer for that football club. So
yeah,
you're looking at Marlon, who came in at Aston Villa, one that potentially He's supposed to replace Leon Bailey, replace him at AS Roma, and doing a fantastic job at this moment. So people even talking about when Diaby, was at Villa, both players were playing at Leverkusen as well. They know each other, they feed off of each other energy, the cohesion between the two players, it's very right up there as well. But looking at it now, he's not even getting moments in the game. Going back to the season where he had 13 goals and around 14 assists, he was the to-go guy whenever he's on the bench or he's starting for Unai Emery. And I remember a couple times, I think when Aston Villa was last in the Champions League, he picking up injuries, but Unai Emery is playing him next game after Bailey available. So the
Yeah.
the the trust was there, but the trust at this moment, you will say it is a broken trust. So he's a player looking at it now. I think he's more out to the door than to sign a new contract for Aston Villa.
Yeah, I think it was that game against United. And the I think they give away a goal, and I think one of
Yeah,
that,
it
that
was
goal
yes,
was
the United
one
came at
of
Old Trafford.
I
He
think
came on, yeah.
I think I think from that, I think Una Emery fully lost all the trust from him. You get what I'm saying? And look who they have played right wing. McGinn.
McGinn.
McGinn
Yeah.
McGinn is not a right wing,
The
but let's
Scottish
be
Messi.
honest. But but
The Scottish.
McGinn is doing a really good job. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
McGinn is keeping out Liam Bailey and Jadon Sancho on the bench, and he's not even a
Yeah.
natural right winger. He's a workhorse. Like he can do everything. You get what I'm saying? But I just think Bailey lost a lot of trust from his from Una Emery. You know, that's poor. In the last 3 seasons, you only scored 3 goals as a
Yeah.
winger. That's very, very poor.
Yeah. I mean, when you see a player constantly, getting games, you if you want to call him the Scottish Messi, if you want him to call him the Scottish donkey, Jan McGinn, he's doing whatever Unai Emery is asking. And Leon Bailey used to be to that go-to guy. He was the one that creating the width when Ramsey was out on the left-hand side. He was the one that was inverting, getting inside, put that extra body inside. And look at, a player like, Rogers at this moment. Probably looking at it 5, 6 years ago, when Leon Bailey was around 21, 20, Rogers wasn't doing what Bailey was doing, in his league, especially in Europe. I remember his last season at Genk where he was playing in the Europa League. I think Leon Bailey scored like 78 goals in that campaign. And he was right up there, as one of the best youngster in Europe, where he's coming up against like Embolo, Pogba, these players he was coming up against like top players in the world. So he was a real wonder kid. And you touch on that as well, like the clips that went viral, a couple of days ago. I think it went viral last week. Someone re-upload back some Leon Bailey old clips of Leverkusen, looking at how he's scoring free kicks. Look at how he's very dynamic of the pace, the energy, and the confidence in his body of getting 1v1 versus defenders and using his pace to get by people. It's just not there anymore. And many people, like what you said, is off the field antics can really catching up on him. And I remember,
Yeah,
I think that season where, let me find it, the season where Bailey scored, the 14 goals and 13 assists. That season, Leon Bailey wasn't playing international football. What
yeah,
happened that summer? Leon Bailey went to Jamaica and keep big party. Right after that, half season, you see Leon Bailey with vape in him and a Miami pan a boat. And you wonder, like, come on, how can you be puffing a vape as a
yeah.
footballer? You just cannot do that. You
I,
cannot do
I
that. I just see that coming off, Aston Villa for a huge campaign,
yeah.
helping the team get into the Champions League because you have done a fantastic job. You scored a very good wonder goal versus Manchester City during that campaign as well. And you did not even try to recuperate your body. You wait until like the last 2, 3 weeks before you started to get back into shape.
Seeing that you saying that Bailey was smoking vape. Have you ever seen Bailey play 90 minutes for Aston Villa? I
It's
think
been a while.
Bailey
It's
I
been a
think
while.
Bailey I think the first time I ever see Bailey play a whole game straight is that last game against Congo that he played for Jamaica, and he couldn't move. You get what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So the eating of the rice and peas, where you say yo when him get time off to come to Jamaica, you get what I'm saying? It caught upon him, and I hope him look into the mirror and say yo, John Oster, say yo, there's a lot of stuff that I could make better decision to better my career. But then again, Billy probably look at it and say, yo, I make millions. I make a lot
Six
of money.
million, 6 million pound,
That's what me I
six
say.
million pound, a
I did a
year.
lot. I did a lot of what a lot of Jamaican people have never did before. They get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Playing in playing the Italian league, playing the Belgium league, playing the German league, playing the Premier League. Like he did,
Champions
like
League, Europa
you playing
League,
the Champions League. Yeah, so he did a lot. But I feel like better decision off the field, he could have a way better career. You get what I'm
longevity.
saying?
Yeah.
Longevity is what I'm saying. And also, if Bailey was in the best of form, he would have bring Jamaica to the World Cup as well.
Definitely.
Because his antics, what he's doing at his club, came came to the reason why one of the reasons why we didn't able to make it to the World Cup because he have not scored or did anything throughout that time that we really need him to step up. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Yeah, and
it's
he
that's one
was
of the
he
reasons.
was a part of that squad that failed to make it to the knockout round in the Gold Cup as well. And probably you can say a few game in that group stage against
Yeah.
Guadeloupe, Panama, and Guatemala. I think he had a very decent game, especially against Guadeloupe as well. But he was very poor in that tournament. Don't forget it. He was very poor. But I want to say I don't think we can put too much blame or hold him accountable for this World Cup campaign because when you look at the last round, September, October, November, he didn't feature because he was injured. So it was this really last round where
No,
he
I'm
was
not.
like,
No, I'm not putting all everything on his shoulder and say, yo, he's one of the main reasons. What I'm saying is over the last 2 years or 3 years, the interview, the after field problem, all of that lead up to one
okay,
of the reasons why we didn't make it to the World Cup. You get what I'm saying? Because I feel like if Bailey was in the best of mindset and best of form, he would have able to because he have yet to give us something to say, yes, Bailey, you bring us on your back. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like he just never able to do that for us. You get me? Make Jamaica people feel happy. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like he was a very disappointing. You get me?
and when you look at it as in hindsight, as a young player coming up, through the ranks of Jamaica, playing under 13, 15, 17, 20, and stuff like that, right? You want to play at the biggest stage, putting on that black, green, and gold shirt. And when you're looking at it, Leon Bailey is missing the Copa America to do other things off the field. You're taking time off away from the national team. When you look at some of the biggest African stars, Bailey, I don't think Bailey have gone through not even half of what some of those players have gone through with their national team in Africa. You
Yeah.
look at a player like Emmanuel Adebayo for Togo, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang playing for these small African teams, the pressure, the criticism, the write up in the media. I don't think Bailey have gone through anything close to that.
Yeah, because
As
Bailey
much
can
as
do
we are not, yeah, as much as we not really, putting the belt buck up on Bailey's shoulder.
yeah.
We still criticize him, but we still love him.
Yeah, because Bailey can lose a game today and got a party tomorrow and it's whatever.
And
You think if Ozyman lose a match today and go to party, Africa Nigeria media that kill him. You see me I say? Bailey, Bailey. There's no way Ozyman can lose a qualifiers, World Cup qualifiers, and end up and they are club. And African people them now look at him like, bro, what are you doing here? You get what I'm saying? So as much as Bailey thinks say your whole pressure come with Jamaica, you're not seeing no pressure yet, man. You're not seeing no pressure yet, my G.
yeah. Um, Looking at it, what's next though? What's next for Leon Bailey? Because I'm looking at this article where it says that Harry Wilson, could come in on a free, transfer. I think his contract will come to an end, this campaign for Fulham. And roughly, they said that if they can get Leon Bailey off the books, he will be, the out and out replacement for Leon Bailey on that right hand side to earn roughly around £100 to £120,000 a week.
Ah, it's all up to the player. What is his motivation? Can you get what I'm saying? Is there still a future for him in the national setup? Or he's just on a island where he just want to cruise right now? You get what I'm saying? Bailey make a lot of money already. How much more money he want? You get what I'm saying? Is he serious about football? You get me? There's Saudi Arabia, there's the MLS. I was the MLS, but I personally, I would love to see Bailey stay in the Premier League and try. You get what I'm saying? Because if he come to MLS or if he go to Saudi Arabia, especially Saudi Arabia, because I feel like in the MLS, there's still gonna be eyes on him. You get what I'm saying? But if he go to the Saudi Arabia, I think that would be it for him, footballing wise.
Yeah,
You get what I'm saying?
I think the Turkish door is probably still open for him. And I'm not seeing him playing for Galatasaray. It's more of maybe Fenerbahce, other team, like Besiktas. Besiktas was in, Fenerbahce was in for him, and I still see that door maybe open for him as well. I even see Fenerbahce, some outlets that cover the football club talking about the potential of Leon Bailey or Riyad Mahrez. Do you understand? So I think the Turkish door will still open to Leon Bailey market, but not seeing a Premier League club. Which Premier League club will really take that risk on a Leon Bailey at this moment? No, just be quite frank. Remove the top 8 team in the Premier League in the standing at this moment. Which team will take him with
That's
that
that's a that's
huge £6 million, six
no.
million pound a year?
No, you're gonna have to he definitely gonna have to be humble and take a wage cut. There's no way. And as I said, if he's serious about football, if it's all about the money, then go to Saudi Arabia because you're not gonna get 6 million in the MLS. You're just not gonna get that. So if it's about football, you're gonna have to take a wage cut. You get me?
Before COVID, I see Bailey walking any European team. Take away Barcelona and Real Madrid. Before COVID, I see Leon Bailey walking into any team in Germany, walking into any team in the Premier League. But
Yeah.
6 years later, you cannot say the same thing. It's a big drop off, huge
Yeah.
drop off. And when you hear Craig Butler talk about, the Bailey have to train so much time per week, him lock up in our room, but when he come to Jamaica, he have to release himself. What the hell you talking about? As a father, as a manager, as an agent, as a mentor. What you mean you have
Yeah.
to come to Jamaica and release? Jamaica
Yeah.
is not a vacation spot when it comes down to international break. You do that
Yeah.
on your half time. You
Yeah.
do those stuff on the half time. You get what I'm saying?
And it, and just for back up on that too. You can come to Jamaica and take your app, feel free, do what you want to do, enjoy yourself.
But
But
respectfully,
and don't go overboard. You get what I'm saying? Because that's where we as a nation we lack discipline. You get what I'm saying? You go to Jamaica, you got the beach, you go enjoy with your family, but we don't want to see you in the club, a party, a drink, a smoke, a do this,
you
that,
gotta
that,
be
that.
around people who are smoke the hookah, the
Yeah,
cigarette, the weed. And this is the thing, right? I think I'm going to do a video on this topic as well, where one of those interview that Rhoda Speed did, he said that how much time out of a 10 a player, a local player that was born in Jamaica will do the right thing before he started to do his own. And he said it was 2. But still, you hear the cry out for local players. But the overseas players, he said, they will do it up to out of 7 or 8 out of 10 before they start to do their own thing. So he's saying
yeah,
that local players are indisciplined. But
yeah,
in hindsight, when Bailey going into Amsterdam to play Ajax in UEFA competition, You will never hear that Bailey, want to go back home over in Belgium where it was close to him, just like how living in Jamaica is so close to him, to his heart. He loved Belgium. You'll never hear he
Yeah.
say that, oh, you want to go back to, go back across the border, from Netherlands to go into Belgium. But why
Mm.
is it that out of your club space, when you're out of that space, you are being unprofessional? But when you're in the space of Aston Villa, when you do stuff, you have to apologize. Remember the interview that he did, and when he just signed that contract, and he talk about the Manchester United, and you have to come out and apologize and to fix him statement. So
Yeah.
you're looking at it like the standard around the national team for the Reggae Boys is very low. And you're talking about standards. Leon Bailey is the one that should be keeping the players at that high standard because he's up there at that level. He
Yeah.
is exposed. Ethan Pinnock. These players have never played to the level of Leon Bailey. No Reggae Boy player in this current team have ever played to that level of where Leon Bailey coming from as a youngster way back in 2001, 16, 17 campaign as a teenager coming through the ranks at KRC gang.
Yeah.
So he's the one that should be setting that standard, and he should be the one that in the leadership group of, listen, we're not going to do this today. We're going to lock in and we're going to buckle down and we are going to lock up in our hotel and make sure that our body fully rest and fully focused and ready for the next break. I don't want to hear about these things happen in the past with with older veteran players. Even Ricardo Baby Gardner came on an interview with the fixer and said, "Hey, listen, we know when to party and we know when not to party because we really lock in on what we need to do." But this current team is like when you hear we drop the points on November the 18th versus Curacao. You heard Craig Butler and other people come out and said, "Oh, the players were very disappointed. They have to go to party to release themselves." You know what Baby Gardner said? He would have never attend a club or go to a party. He would have been ashamed to seen in the public domain.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is the where the modern days, these players don't care. You get what I'm saying? Like, bro, can you imagine me not qualify for God the World Cup? Brother, you don't even see me again. First of all, if me don't even see me again, like what? Me could have the urge to go and party. No way. But these players they don't love the game. They don't love the country. You see me? So it's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, it's just like way back in a rainy small day, yes, Walter Boy sit down on the bench at Jamaica are drinking beer. But when him go overseas, yeah, he might be indisciplined in some terms, but you never hear of that Walter Boy sit down on the bench overseas are drinking beer. You'll never hear these stuff. So I'm just saying the standards around the national team, it has to come from the leadership group of the national team
And
and
that's right.
also the federation. You understand?
Yeah.
You have to set very good standard. You have to set very good policies. Anyone really break these policies, they're going to get penalized. You did it, you're going to get penalized. So looking at it, if Aston Villa make the Champion League, they're going to, ruffle a lot of feathers in this squad. And I love Leon Bale as a Jamaican player. Even when he's not playing up to that standard, I still, hope the best and support him as well. But he's one of those dead weight in the Aston Villa team that I think moving forward, if they need to go to that next level, they're going to have to put him on a transfer list. I think his contract will come to an end the end of next campaign of 2002 to the summer of 2027. So anything more, before we move on, to talk about a bit of a transfer saga around Roman Burl, you want to say and Leon Bailey?
No, I think the next move for Bailey is gonna be vital for the rest of his career. I think that's gonna be vital for the rest of his career. The next move for him is gonna be very vital, and I'm just hoping that he chooses the football and not the money and the luxury, because I think Bailey already have the luxury. I already have all the success. I already have the money already. I hope he choose to continue to play some serious football. So we will see what type of individual he is after there.
Yeah. So people, that's it with the Leon Bailey segment. We gave you 30 minutes of Leon Bailey, talking about the one and only Leon Bailey, still up to today's day, we're going to support the player career. Anywhere him go, we're still going to rock the Leon Bailey fanboy club. But talking about the transfer saga, the season not finished as yet, just a few games left before the post campaign start in the AFL, Pyramid, the Championship, League One and League Two. But Roman Burrell, before he got injured, his last game he played, it was January the 4th. Yeah. And he scored 10 goals. He was flying. He was one of the elite striker in the championship, top marksman. But looking at it in hindsight, seeing QPR, a few outlets that covered this QPR team saying that Bournemouth, Wolves, Bournemouth, and the other team, I forgot, Wolves, Bournemouth, and then that it will come back to me. But looking at it, one season at QPR,
Sunderland.
Sunderland,
Sunderland.
yeah, Sunderland. So looking at it, you have
Um,
Armstrong, Adam
Armstrong.
Armstrong. You have Armstrong. You have the players coming from Ajax, playing for
Bobby
Sunderland.
Bradbury.
Bobby
Yeah.
Bramby, and you have Krupi, for Bournemouth. Krupi's on double figures. Bramby's probably, I don't think no one can really take his spot at this moment. But you say maybe Wolverhampton, what you see from Wolverhampton and Rob Edwards, they showed a little bit of progress. It seems like if they would have got more time with this manager earlier in the campaign, probably you would have probably have a better opportunity to salvage their Premier League campaign. Armstrong, 1 goal so far this season. I know he just came in. The last time he was playing in the championship, he scored double digit in the championship. Which one of these teams you think really will suit a Roman Borough, like someone with a quick acceleration, out and out number 9?
I think by I'm just gonna go off of the style of play. I think Bournemouth did have fit him so good, but the step up from the championship to the Premier League is kind of look a bit tricky. But I think Bournemouth would have suit the way how he's played. Very fast football. I think the coach that is there at Bournemouth currently, he's gonna leave at the end of the season. So it could be a different setup, could be a different style of football. But the way I'm judging off how they play, the way how they play would have suit him so much.
Small
He's
ground, just like
yeah,
UPR Stadium as well.
yeah. Somebody likes to get behind the defender and run
Yeah,
behind. You get what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I think he would have suit the way how they play. But for me, for a better and then Sutherland, that's gonna still tricky too. As you said, I
Yeah.
don't think he I
I
think
think they
Sutherland.
play physical football.
Yeah,
That's
they
what
play
they do.
physical football.
Physical football.
I don't think that suit him. They play a lot of long balls, so I don't think that suit him. Wolves, I think Wolves does play a good like I think Wolves kind of play a little bit similar to Bournemouth too, and then they're going down into the championship. You get what I'm saying? If they can guarantee, I don't think Armstrong is gonna be someone who you rely on for the whole
Yeah,
season.
yeah.
Yeah, is it me? So I
I
think if
think
he can,
the championship is, I think that's his level. Looking at the
yeah, yeah.
the championship, he was there for Southampton 25-26 season. He scored. He was just this campaign. He scored 11 goals in, from August until December. That was very decent as well.
Yeah.
Also was there with West Brom, just 3 goals as well. So looking at it, for Southampton, when 23-24, he scored 24 goals in the championship. So he is that player, even for looking at what he did for Blackburn, he scored loads of goals in the championship. So
Mhm.
the championship is that level. But I think the Wolverhampton team probably will see more minutes of him,
Yeah.
a younger team, fresh, young bloods, the manager as well. I think Robert Edwards is a very good manager. I think he will
Um,
get the time and space there. And they have the
and
higher potential of go back up into the Premier League.
yeah, and I think they're probably gonna go a different direction. Maybe want to bring in some new faces. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I just think that, as you said, championship is his level. I just think that the stepping up to the Premier League and say him come to him got Bournemouth or Sutherland and thing, and him probably find it very hard to get games. They're probably gonna loan him out, and we don't want that.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? We don't want that. We want him to get to a team where he can settle down and start play some football consistently. So I think the team in the championship is gonna be the better move for him. People might say, "Yo, no man, we want him today in the Premier League." No, you have to look long term for his career. Cause you don't want to go out one of these Premier League team and just on the bench, sometimes not even in the match day squad.
And
You get what I'm
and
saying?
maybe if they finish the season strong, Bournemouth will be in European competition next season.
Yes.
So
And
so
they, yeah,
that yeah, so that will but I just think, to be honest, coming from League One, before that he was playing in third tier of Scottish football. I think he need like a one or two more season in the championship to really build up himself. And I think that if he's going to leave QPR, it has to be one of those big championship team, especially a team like Burnley, who's dropping down as well. Wolverhampton, I think Wolverhampton is a decent setup, a Premier League team just coming down. Hopefully, then they get what Leicester get back to back relegation, But I can't see Wolverhampton go that direction of, from Premier League to the Championship to League One football. I just cannot see that even with this current manager. But this football, you never can say never. You understand?
yeah,
But I just feel like this Wolverhampton team, if he wants to challenge himself and put himself close to Premier League football, it is that Wolverhampton team. They're just coming down. They're fresh. They will be still thinking that they're in the Premier League. So I think that will be and that will be another step up, where moving from QPR to the Premier League, going
yeah,
to a team maybe potentially might play European football. I think that's a big jump. I think that's very
yeah,
risky. I think that
yeah.
is very risky. And you
But
see, Josh Sargent for the US men's national
yeah,
team, he can he just cannot cut it in the championship. And they hype him up so much as if he is an Italian league player, he's a Bundesliga player, and he cannot really cut it because of
yeah.
injuries. You understand? So I
But
mean, let's see what's going to
I
happen
want to
with
give
Borough.
him, but still, I want to give him Roman Borrell the credit because, as you said, he was playing in non-league coming
Yeah,
up. So you can see his career progressing. You get what I'm saying over the time. So
yeah.
you have to give him credit for that. You get what I'm saying. So for these teams to even link with him and in any truth
That's
in
a
any of
massive
these
shot. Though. That's a
that
massive
that
shot.
that's yeah. So at least these teams are able to watch his progress and scouting him, and you get what I'm saying. So you have to give him credit as well.
Yeah, I think look at his trajectory of as a player coming up to the ranks. I think whoever scored Roman Burrell, that's a big fish to get right there. That's a big catch, to get him, because I think you have quite a few reggae boy players who are playing, below the Premier League. If you can get them at the championship level, just like I think Ole Watkins was a big miss, for the Reggae Boy team. Ole Watkins was a big miss in terms of when he was playing for Brentford. No one really knows Ole Watkins coming from League One football. You get what I say?
Mm,
And this is why scouting department comes in play in this day and age of football at this moment.
yeah,
And also, if the federation can really up their professionalism and how they do stuff, they can attract players. And if they
yeah,
can get a very good system, very good coaches, the coaching staff to back up that head coach, and set a very good platform, it will be even more feasible, for these players to really to come in and help. So that's what I'm saying is players are there below the championship, are in the championship, but you have to get them at that right moment before they get to a stage of a Ivan Tony or Ole Watkins, because I think those two players were a big miss from our scouting department of these players playing below the radar of not in the radar of Premier League clubs when they were in League One, League or Championship football. You get what I say? So Borrell, Bailey Kadamatieri, and also a newly player that got promoted the other day, Efran Mason Clark. I think he's a real one as well. Let's see if he can match up to that standard and if he's going to take his opportunity, with Coventry and unlock that next level. And Semenyo is a great identification of look at what he have done from Bristol City, Bournemouth to Man City. You
yeah,
get what I say? So I think he is a very good bar apart, to really look at to say, listen,
yeah,
if you can do the same thing as Semen, and look, we know Semen is a quality player. He shows that, for Bournemouth, but he wasn't the Semen 4 years ago playing in the championship. He
That's
wasn't
why.
that player.
That's why when you see a player at non-league, League One, League Two,
Mikel
they can
Antonio is a player like that as well.
never you say that's where their career is gonna be. You never know what can happen. You get what I'm saying? So you have to give the players them chances to develop and get better. You get me?
But as the JFF, you have to snatch these players just at that time when you see like they are getting that,
Yeah.
they are springing and they are blossoming.
Yes, but the JFF have to be doing the right thing after on the field. We have to be we have to be getting results to convince these players. You get what I'm saying? Because if Jamaica is a country that consistently turning up, going to the Gold Cup final, getting to the World Cup, these
Yeah.
players are being convinced and say, "Yo, wow, Jamaica got a World Cup and a regular.
We
Jamaica
have
they are
a very
semi
good
final."
program. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But if we're not doing that and we fail in the football on the field, you're never gonna be able to convince these players.
That's true. Yeah, that's why the federation have to up their professionalism around their market as well, so they can attract good and better players in the diaspora market. But we heard the big man of football in Centre and came on, Ryan LFC platform, Elite Sport TV, talking about more of the prominent senior Reggae Girls team. And look at it, I think in 2019, I think the money that we earned by qualifying for that World Cup in France, it was roughly around 700,000. I don't know if it was euros or pound, but it was right around that bracket. After that, we qualify again. It was close to 1 million. I don't think it hit the seven figure, but it was close to 1 million. Now you're expecting this World Cup price will be in the silver bracket. But look at what we did last World Cup campaign in Australia and New Zealand. Roughly, the Reggae Girls the team earn around 1.5 just by qualifying for the round of 16. Where all those money went, where that should be going to the development of the women football in Jamaica. And listening to Danny Beckford speaking as well, it's like there's no real plan around women football. There's no real structure. There's no base. What is happening at this moment with the regulars team? I'm looking at in hindsight. You see that foundation that Sidel Amali built, the team is just floating around that. And sooner or later, Daniel, that going to be dropped right down if the JFF don't manage that process very good. I'm telling you, they're waving and
Yeah,
the foundation and the structure that Sidal Amali built, and it was
yeah,
so good and it was so strong that even today, 2026, going to our next, the third cycle since she picked it up,
yeah,
that cycle have been, floating. But how long can the oxygen last? I
yeah.
don't know. But
And it's
it's like the
crazy.
grassroots football is not good enough in Jamaica.
And it's crazy to see that the JFF would even say, "Yo, the men's football have failed us so much time. Let's focus. Let's put some all of this focus on the women's team because the women's team is the one that's going to the World Cup,
Exactly.
and they're still not learning from their mistake what they did last time. You get what I'm saying? Like, what is the goal for these people that in power? What is the goal? Do you get what I'm saying? Because end of the day, yes, the men's team, yes, with the men's team, them not even do the right thing for the men's team. You get what I'm saying? Off the field, on the field, they still not even do it. But let's be honest, if them not do that for the man them team, and then the woman team did it, why we expect them to go do anything for the women's team either? You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand. Like, I was, as I said, I was listening to the program as well on Ryan's show and stuff. There's I can see why I can see why Jamaica are struggle
Yeah.
because there's no structure, there's no most of the stuff them just make it seem like, yo, it sound like stuff where when we was growing up in Jamaica 20, 15 years ago, it sound like had the same thing they're doing
Same thing,
to this
same
day.
thing, same thing.
You see me?
I feel
You
like
know?
I feel like I feel like back when we and Ryan ended up play at Boystone, playing under 13, under 15 together. I think I think we were playing a lot more football than now. I think there were a lot more youth footballers playing back then
Yeah,
than now. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
when you look at Cassava under 13, it was year after year. You know, under
yeah.
15, it was year after year. And then you have the parish, league, where the Kingston and St. Andrew merge and St. Anna, St. Elizabeth, the Westmont. It was year after year, all these football,
There was a
league.
lot of football back then.
It
Lots of
was a lot of,
football.
and you're looking at it now. All right, we qualify for 2019, 2023, but we missed out on the Gold Cup. Fine, but the money that accumulated from the World Cup prize, it's roughly around 2 point something million, right? Where is the National Women's League in Jamaica? I'm not talking about the scene. I'm talking about a youth developmental league where kids at the age of 12, 13, constantly playing football right around. If you look at it in the US and in Europe, this is why they are so good. Football is a non-stop playing sport for women in the US.
But now cut you. But you know what them gonna say? Well, Jamaica is a third world country. We can't keep up with the US. We can't expect we to do that. Da da da. But end of the day, we're getting funds to do that, to start something. You get what I'm saying? Because what the JFFs are doing, they're relying on the school leagues to develop the
To
players. Them.
develop the players.
You see what I'm
Exactly.
saying? They rely on the school to do that. That's not the school job. The school the school is volunteering to do these things, and that's where we're going wrong. You get what I'm saying? They're gonna say it's because Jamaica is a small country and da da da. You see me? I say that's wrong.
I think the Caribbean is catching up on us, man. Yeah, but let's move on though. Let's finish the podcast with these last two. The Premier League. Now we're seeing it's tug of war, Manchester City and Arsenal at this moment. City will play on a weekend in the FA Cup semi-final at Carrick,
Yes, against Southampton.
and Southampton and Arsenal will play home at the Emirates, with the Magpies. What says you in that game? What you expecting of that poor Bournemouth game, or you go back to that poor Carabao Cup, the poor two-legged game versus Sporting Lisbon? You will say a step up, a much better performance, more front foot football versus Man City in the Premier League. They lost that 1-0. They created chances, but they didn't score. But what you expecting to see the Gunners now playing against the Magpies coming up, on the weekend, playing at home? You need a reaction. You can't tell me you're going into this game again and you might drop points. If they drop points, maybe that would be 100% curtains for them in the title race.
Em- the Emirates Stadium gonna full of anxiety. Yo, you could have yo. If Lucas score, you could have hear a pin drop in that stadium there. No, seriously. Seriously, like Arsenal, I feel like Sergio Alkali, if they don't get something out of that game, I think it's over. Because you know why? City gonna have a game in hand, and City gonna have. I think City gonna beat Southampton.
Mm,
So City gonna in a final, next final again, and their confidence is gonna go to the roof, and they're gonna be still top of the league without even say Arsenal lose against Newcastle. They're gonna still be on top of the league without kicking a ball.
yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So I feel like Arsenal have to win. Doesn't matter. Oh, people say Arsenal play the worst football. I know them need to just play the worst football, get to the corner flag, and get some corner and score some goal. You get what I'm saying? Because I feel like Arteta free paper bun if you not win this Premier League title. You get me? But it's gonna be a very, very tense game. Very tense game against
You
Newcastle.
know, the thing is, it's been Arsenal is on a bad patch of form at this moment. When you look at did I said 1-0, but it was 2-1 the game initially finished. I think I said 1-0 that the City beat them, but it was 2-1. Looking at that, they're not being they're not getting enough goals in the back of the net, and to be in the back end of this campaign, you have to be scoring goals. And I think I guaranteed a City team will win at least a 3-0 margin out of one of these games that remaining in the Premier League. And I'm looking at it. If this Newcastle team can find a performance, even though they're winless in their last four in our competition, yeah. But if they can find a performance, remember when they beat Arsenal in the Emirates in the Carabao Cup when Isak and I think Garden scored, if they can find a performance, which it's highly doubt that the Newcastle team will find something at the Emirates. I think Arsenal will win the game, but I think it's going to be a tough game. I think Eddie O is falling out of favor with Anthony Gordon, no Isak. Look at the two striker, the German, and also Wissa. They're nowhere near good enough to the level where they can play. Look at Bruno G. Yeah, I think he came on in that game at home versus Bournemouth. And when he came on, I think the game was completely a different game. So he's going to have to rely on Bruno G. But looking at Bruno Guimaraes, I don't think he can turn up into the Emirates having 120% factor of playing very well in that game and Newcastle get something from it. It has to come from somewhere in the attacking third, from one of those players. You look at the Murphy, they're nowhere good enough at this moment. So I just think Arsenal rocked up at home. I think they will get 3 points. As much as the set piece goals are not going in for them, to be honest.
Arsenal have a 48% win rate they played 20 games in the last 6 years. Arteta, he have a horrible record in April. They played 26 games, 11 win, 7 draw, and 8 losses.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? So this is a team for Arteta. He struggled in April, right before the big month. You get what I'm saying? So this is nothing new seeing Arsenal struggling in April. You get me? This is the month that they struggle. I don't know. I don't get that.
I don't know, man. There's something with Mikel Arteta. Looking at it, but move away from the title race. There's a huge game is coming up. Wolverhampton and Tottenham Hotspur. Huge game. If Tottenham cannot get 3 points, they will be going down like Leicester City going into League One. I think few games are back. Leicester City play Portsmouth at Fratton Park. When they lost that game, I said that was it. Because I think it went like 9 or 10 points for Leicester City to get out of the relegation zone with just 3 games left or 4 games left at the time. And they're like, okay, they're not going to go on to win every game and results going to favor in their way for them to survive. So I'm saying if this Wolverhampton team can get any point versus this Tottenham team and West Ham going to play home to Everton, I don't think Everton have a very good record, in London as well. But if they can get something from this game at the Molineux, the home team, I think it's tough for Roberto De Zerbi to turn around, to be honest. It's a huge game coming up tomorrow.
Huge game.
Huge game.
And the worst thing too, Wolves not have nothing for play for.
They have nothing to play for.
So them just go the free for all. They don't have no pressure on them. You see me? Tottenham players gonna have all the pressure on them, and that's the worst thing. The worst thing you can play against a team with already relegated. You get what I'm saying? And have nothing to lose.
Remember, all right. So later from now as well, Sunderland will play Nottingham Forest. If Forest can get the win at home at City Ground, then that will even extend the gap.
Yeah.
Of safety. You understand? Yep. Which I think it's all between West Ham and Spurs to go down. It's Spurs. One of them. Yeah, I think I think when Leeds racked up at United and beat them at Old Trafford, I think that was their safety zone right there.
Yeah, I think Leeds is safe, and my money is on West Ham.
And Forest beat Burnley when
Burnley. They come back. Yeah,
I think that was their safety game. So it's all on what if Everton rocked up in London and lose that game to West Ham and Spurs drop point. I think that will be it. I don't
Yeah,
see Spurs good enough to get back. So
they don't.
yeah, I don't see Spurs good enough to really to get back in and out of that relegation fight. Let's. I don't think there's not much. I look the United game and Brentford game coming up on Monday as well. That's a battle for European spot. Even the Aston Villa game, he said lunchtime kickoff in England coming up tomorrow. Aston Villa play away to Fulham, at the Cottage. I think that's like a Premier League European spot as well. Liverpool will play home to Crystal Palace. You said Crystal Palace is one of those bogey teams for Liverpool at Anfield,
Yeah, yeah, they are.
Yeah, so I guess that's where we leave it as well, people. So we're going to go into the extra time segment of the podcast. So, all right, so Daniel, before we close out, Yamin Yamal, no more La Liga season for him. You think they've done enough? What, 9 points lead of the Madridista, into the title race? You see any chance Real Madrid could peg back this title race?
No, because the problem is even if Barcelona drop points, I still see Real Madrid dropping points, and Real Madrid is not convincingly. You get what I'm saying? But I think Barcelona should have enough, even though Lamal is gonna be out. I think Barca should have enough to push through. But Real Madrid is just not convincingly. I know they beat. I think who they beat? They beat they won their game 2-1 midweek.
They beat Alaves.
Yeah, they beat Alves 2-1. So Real Madrid is
They were leading 2-0 in that game, and Alaves scored back, and it was all rocking ship all over the place. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. Look, I'm gonna say this. I think Real Madrid dropped points against some very easy team like Girona, a team that's struggling. Mallorca, Getafe beating Real Madrid in the Bernabeu. Osasuna beating Real Madrid out in their home ground as well. So I just think, look at even the Albacete beating them in the Copa del Rey. But looking at it, man, their next game will be away to Betis and away to Espanyol. Then before the El Clasico, like those two away games are very tough. Away to Betis and away to Espanyol, those games are very tough.
And Real Madrid they've been very bad away from home.
They've been very bad. But Barcelona have a tricky one. They will play in Madrid. Tomorrow, playing Getafe, and then they will play Osasuna. Look, I'm saying, man, the two top of the table, not the top of the table, the two teams that in first and second will be playing away in the next two games before the Clasico. Let's see, because Barca play Getafe and away to Osasuna.
Getafe is a very, very physical team.
Yes,
that's not an easy game neither.
You know what? Easy game. I would not call it curtains as yet.
Yeah.
Let me see these two fixtures before the El Clasico.
No Lamal.
Yeah, I think Rafinha is struggling for injury. Rafinha is struggling. Frankie De Jong is struggling his fitness as well. I think Gavi came back. Barcelona playing away with an eye line. It's just it's diabolical, to do, on the road. So let's see. We're going to come back to this, but let's see for the next two fixtures in La Liga before the Clasico. Yeah, if Real Madrid can go to Camp Nou with, like, if they can turn it around and bring it to 3-2 points, then it will be a nail-biting ending to the La Liga title race. You understand? So Barcelona last game will be at the Mestalla against Valencia. So that's a tricky game.
That's a tricky game.
That's a tricky game.
Volleys at the bottom of my table. Them boy, they fight. I'm clear. You see me?
Valencia is one of those tradition teams in La Liga where, going to the Mestalla, man, it's, going to the Mestalla and Sevilla, two of the most trickiest away ground, differently from playing at the Camp Nou, the Bernabeu, and the Wanda Metropolitano. So that's really the people right on the hour mark. As you hear the intro, we're concluding the podcast. Yeah, Daniel, then attack football. Yeah, so that's really it, man. Your last say before we close out.
People, bless upon yourself. Thanks for tuning in for the next episode. I don't know, but the man them do the right thing. You know, Jamaica Football Federation and do the right thing. You see me? And just move on to a better football. And we're always gonna come here and preach the right thing, but you know, check it out.
Yeah, people. That's it. That is it, now, people. That is it. You're closing out at this moment. Bless upon yourself.